Hello, sunshine. Wonderful Wednesday to you. I'm Coy Wire. This is CNN 10, where I tell you the what, letting you decide what to think. Lots to get to today. Not a lot of time to do it, so let's get to it. We're going to start in China, where the nation's longest holiday is underway. It's the Mid-Autumn Golden Week, and for National Day, they're celebrating the 74th anniversary of the People's Republic. Officials say they expect nearly 900 million trips to be taken during the 8-day holiday period. That's a lot of people traveling by car, by boat, train, or plane. A 15% jump, in fact, from 2019. Now, during all this holiday travel, there will be a big boost to the economy. China's Ministry of Tourism predicts that people will spend about 780 billion yuan, or 109 billion US dollars. That's a 20% increase compared to 2019. This will be a welcomed boost. China's economy has had a sluggish year, but after being cooped up during the COVID-19 lockdowns, young Chinese folks are excited to be able to travel again, and they're sharing tips on social media about how to make the most of their holiday on a budget. There is hope that a return to growth in China's manufacturing sector and a surge in travel during the Golden Week holiday could help the economy pick back up. China is also facing challenges in the form of a high debt, high unemployment rate, and an aging population, and housing market troubles too. That's despite some of the measures that have been taken recently, like lowering interest rates and easing home and car buying restrictions to boost the economy.
China, the world's second largest economy, is in a slump. Prices are dropping, the real estate market is in a cash crunch, the youth unemployment rate is so bad the government stopped publishing it. And some local governments are so broke, medical benefits for seniors have been cut, leading to protests. Tough times across the country. Yet this is the Chinese economy government officials are eager to show the world. Bustling factory floors, a free trade zone, and an industrial park dotted with international companies. Among the sights we saw on a state-sponsored trip to northeastern China, rare access inside the heart of what many call China's Rust Belt.
Are you able to have success despite all of the economic challenges facing China right now?
China's economy as a whole is improving. We are confident that we can make a corresponding contribution to the general trend of development.
That confidence seems like a contrast to reality. Officially, China's economy is improving based on GDP, but the rebound isn't as fast as many investors had hoped, especially in a post-COVID world.
The Chinese government is certainly looking to foreign investment to help jumpstart its economy, but it's also focusing on factories like this one.
An effort to make sure it still churns out enough products for export, keeping China as the world's factory. At the same time, upgrading key industries, especially tech, to become self-reliant or even leaping ahead of the US and other rivals. Needed solutions as China remains one of the biggest drivers of global growth.
A slowdown in China is going to impact everyone else in the world. You will have the effect, of course, in demand, you will have the effect in prices, and so on and so forth.
China saw so much growth in the past, economists say eventually it would hit a wall. Now it's hoping some of the industries we saw here on this trip will help the nation climb over it.
10-second trivia. Which of these U.S. government agencies is responsible for preparing for and recovering from disasters? FAA, FDA, FTC, or FEMA? If you said FEMA, you are correct. The Federal Emergency Management Agency was established in 1979 by President Jimmy Carter. And a belated happy birthday to you. Mr. Carter turned 99 years old 3 days ago. All right, today at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time, don't be alarmed if you hear an alarm coming from your phone here in the U.S. that sounds a little like meh or something like that. FEMA will be conducting a scheduled test of the wireless emergency alert system. So if you're not supposed to have your phone in class, you better leave it in your locker during that time, because those devices are all scheduled to go off at 2:20 Eastern. Federal law requires the systems to be tested once every 3 years to help ensure that they'll be able to effectively warn the public about big emergencies. All radios and TVs will also be tested. Today's test will be the 7th such nationwide drill, but only the 2nd time it includes all cell devices. There have been some alert system hiccups in the past, like the false alarm at the state level that woke some folks up at 4 in the morning. And most notably in Hawaii in 2018, an emergency worker hit the wrong button, sending out a false alarm for an incoming missile. That employee lost their job after that incident. Driverless vehicles are continuing to pop up all around the world. Once just a tailpipe dream, we now have driverless taxis in certain cities, even driverless tractors tilling farmland. But our senior automotive reporter, Peter Valdez de Pena, explores whether we'll ever get to a place where driverless cars are fully accepted. He says a truly driverless world might always be 2 years away.
The idea of driverless cars, I think, has been around since cars became commonplace on American roads, certainly since the 30s. My favorite movie when I was growing up was Herbie the Love Bug, where it's this Volkswagen that's essentially a self-driving conscious entity in an automobile.
It's the funniest thing ever seen on wheels.
Go back to the 64 World's Fair and you had companies talking about driverless cars with somebody in a control tower talking to you about like, okay, take your hands off the wheel now and we'll take you home. This idea has been around because it just seems so obvious. Automobile, self-moving, well, it should be fully automobile and drive itself. Some 46,000 people a year die in automobile crashes. Autonomous cars, if they become ubiquitous, would virtually eliminate that. The thinking is, since the majority of crashes are caused by quote-unquote human error, if we eliminate humans, we would eliminate the errors. But let's face it, when driverless cars are in the news, they're in the news for screwing up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, no, we're going on the wrong side of the road.
So the challenge is we've got machines interacting with people. Self-driving is one of the reasons that people are working so hard on artificial intelligence. You know, it's one thing to keep the lane on the highway, but to actually like fully drive requires an almost human-like ability to improvise. In the years I've been covering this industry, fully autonomous cars are always 2 years away, and they keep being 2 years away. Now, when it comes, it's not going to be all at once. For example, already we're seeing things like in agriculture with self-driving tractors, farmers can go out there and program the machine, go home, have breakfast, work around the farm while the field is plowed by an autonomous tractor. This holds the promise of democratizing automobiles. You don't have to have a driver's license. You don't have to know how to drive. When the world gets to a point where a mom or a dad can take their kindergarten-age kid down to a car and say, here, son, get in this car. It's going to take you to school. Because it's one thing for me to get in a driverless car and be willing to take that risk. When I can put a young child in that car, that's the ultimate test.
A new Guinness World Record gets today's 10 out of 10 at an event that could have been an omnishambles, as 219 dogs gathered in Los Angeles, California for an advanced screening of Paw Patrol, the mighty movie. But it was totally pawsome. The well-organized event set the world record for most dogs attending a film screening. The fur babies wagged their stuff on a red carpet, posed for the paparazzi. They had to be at least 1 year old and sit, good doggy, for at least 10 minutes of the movie in order for it to count. Now, of all the world records I've heard, I feel like this one is fairly attainable. Could we break this world record? Could your school get together and get 220 dogs to sit and watch a movie for 10 minutes? If so, let us know. I wonder if an episode of CNN 10 would count. I'd bring the doggy treats for that. Congrats to our hashtag Your Word Wednesday winners, the Jaguars, in Miss Cantwell's class at Jackson Middle for submitting the noun omnishambles, a bad situation caused by a series of mistakes and poor organization. Well done. Our school shout out today goes to Canton South High School in Canton, Ohio. Rise up. Halfway through the week, shine bright everyone and go out and make someone smile today. I'm Coy Wire and we are CNN